Andre transfer pursuit takes hits as Liverpool face wait to deadline day. There is yet to be further movement on the transfer front, and Fluminense's recent result is expected to block any potential summer move for Andre. Liverpool are just 4 days away from their opening Premier League game of the season, and Jurgen Klopp has already admitted the formation in that game is temporary as the search for number 6 continues. It is far removed from where we all thought the club would be, as a midfield overhaul was long expected and became all the more important after Fabinho and Jordan Henderson's departure. That brought 22-year-old Andre of Fluminense into focus, a midfielder regarded as more of a controller, and claims of a former $21.6 million offer made the rounds earlier this month. However, reports in Brazil stated that a decision from Fluminense to let Andre go or not was not expected until after the second leg of their Copa Libertadores clash with Argentinos Juniors. That day has now come and gone, with the Brazilian club advancing to the next round with 3-1 aggregate win, which is to solidify their stance on the 22-year-old's future. It was reported that Andre's future was tied to the Brazilian club's progress in the competition, as they would have expected to be more open to a summer move if the chance at a major trophy was off the table. But as they are currently in the middle of their season and now remain in the Copa Libertadores, the January window now appears the earliest a deal could be struck, which the Reds could still look to do. The next stage of competition will conclude between August 29th, 31st, and the Premier League transfer window remains open at that stage, closes September 1st. Though you would hope Liverpool would not be twiddling their thumbs on the off chance Fluminense were knocked out. Unless the Reds manage to convince Fluminense to reconsider their stance, Romeo Lavia remains at the top of the priority list, and the expectation is a fourth bid will be tabled. Southampton rejected Liverpool's £46 million offer on Monday, and their CEO has already explained that they will not be selling assets on the cheap, and that's why they have stood firm. Late goals from Samuel Xavi, Berito and John Kennedy sealed the win for the Brazilian side at the Maracanã, who are seeking their first ever Copa Libertadores, the South American equivalent to Champions League crown. Liverpool target Andre Trindade played the full game, having missed his side's weekend win over Palmeiras in the quarterfinals will now be played in the last weeks of August, with the first legs taking place between 22nd and 24th of August, and the return fixtures of 29th to 31st August. The Reds had been tipped to move for Andre this summer as part of their summer rebuild, following the exits of Jordan Henderson, Fabinho, James Milner, Naby Keita, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, and Casemiro. The One Cup Brazil international was being looked at as one midfield option, possibly as a long-term Thiago successor to complement the arrival of a player like Romeo Lavia, with reports speculating that Andre himself would be open to move. South America football expert Tim Vicalia had said that Andre, who has yet to play outside of Brazil, would slot right in at Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool. The big issue for the Reds is that Fluminense remain reluctant to sell a key player such as Andre in the middle of their own season. While the European League are preparing to kick off the new campaign, South American football is already in full swing, with the domestic and continental calendar running until December. It has been widely reported that Fluminense are open to granting Andre, who has also been linked with Sporting CP and Fulham, his big move to Europe, but only in January transfer window. The one caveat, though, was if Fluminense were to be knocked out of the Copa Libertadores, thus ending their hopes of a major trophy, it could bring them to the table this summer. This factor brought an unusual amount of attention from Liverpool fans to the last 16 crash against Argentina. This factor brought an unusual amount of attention from Liverpool fans to the last 16 crash against Argentinos Juniors on Wednesday. Even if Fluminense were to be eliminated at the next stage in the quarters, 29th, 31st August, it would leave precious little time for a transfer to be completed by the European deadline, that is 1st September. While the Reds could yet arrange a January deal, getting the transfer over the line in time for the start of the Premier League season doesn't look like it's going to happen. Elsewhere, Liverpool remain in talks for Lavia. The Reds have seen third bid rejected for the £50 million rated Southampton midfielder who was left out of his club's EFL Cup defeat on Tuesday. Anfield Watch also exclusively reported Liverpool's interest in Leicester City's Kearney Dewsbury Hall, while the likes of Ryan Gravenberch of Bayern Munich and Cheike Odonkalo of Crystal Palace have been mentioned as possible targets.